Well, this is another game with the green deck. I don't. The game's hosted by Lance here, and we're against Control Alt Delete. He's kind of a rage quitter, so guess how this one ends. Again, running the green deck. Uh, this is 3DH. Typically, these are more competitive than the normal. If it's not competitive, it'll say casual. And let's look at opening hands real quick. Okay, so Control Alt Delete's running as a Traxa deck, and it's Traxa Walkers. It used to be a more tier deck, but it's kind of fallen out of favor recently because it does take a little bit longer to get going. Um, it's very hard to get all the pieces together and to maintain your advantage. So he's starting off with Sea of Clouds. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you have two or more opponents. So it's one of the Battle Bond lands, which are good. I mean, they're good. There's no doubt about that. He's got an Island, an Oath of Gideon, Reflecting Pool, Thrumming Bird, Coalition Relic, Brushland. Coalition Relic's really good in Atraxa because he can put multiple counters on it. The Thrumming Bird is good. I would not have kept this hand, actually, because he has no real action. He has a lot of enablers, but nothing to go into. But I guess he thought it was good enough because it had a little bit of ramp. He's got Temple of the False God. I'm got a Windswept Heath. I make a misplay here. I play the Windswept Heath instead of the Forest first. I should have played two Forests because I'm opening up with a Manglehorn, a Lotus Cobra, a Worldly Tutor, two Forests, a Windswept Heath, a Reap and Sow, and a Colony Hydra. If I went with the two Forests into the Lotus Cobra, the next turn I could drop and play Reap and Sow, generate enough mana off of that. I could get an Ancient Tomb, tap that, play Manglehorn, and I would just be very far ahead on turn 3. But it's not what I do. It's a very dumb decision. I also could have went and gotten something pretty decent with Worldly Tutor off of that, but can't fix that. Lance is running apparently an all basic stacks deck. This is a poor decision. I don't really think of Saskia as a stacks deck. That is a very aggressive deck. He should be playing an aggressive strategy. The way he's going for stacks, that is you don't play like that with that deck. But maybe he sees something that we don't. He's opening up with a Strip Mine, a Forest, a Wild Field Border Post. I'm not a big fan of Border Posts. I mean, I'm guessing he has a lot of land destruction cards, so maybe that's really good in that. He's got Price of Glory, and of course he's got 4 land to go with it. And all in all, this is a very terrible hand to keep for him. He should have definitely mulliganed this. I mean, because if you look at it, it's basically 1 card, 7 land. And that's just not going to work. So yeah, he plays his mountain, bounces it, plays Wildfire Border Post. We got a Brushland into a Thrumming Bird. I mean, not much to see there. He's going to end. I'm going to fetch, search out a Forest. Again, I'm not really happy with playing the Windswept Heath first, but I've got an idea. Now I should have probably tutored, but I kind of wanted to see what they were going to do first. In all honesty, I wasn't quite sure what their plan was going to be. So I played my Lotus Cobra. I'm guessing it's going to be fine because none of these colors really have a lot of removal. Okay, so what does he draw? Cascading Cataracts. Again, more land. You can't keep 7-hand land. And I know it looked like he had a mana ramp with an artifact, but this isn't actually mana ramp because you have to bounce that land. So it's just mana fixing. And in all honesty, that's just the same as another land. Now he's going to draw Birds of Paradise, and he's got Primeval's Glorious Rebirth for his Planeswalkers, but that's a 7-drop, and unfortunately, This is not going to work out for him because I have a Manglehorn, so that Coalition Relic's probably not going to do anything. Because I know I'm going to pop that. There's no other option. You just got to pop it. And with Mr. Stacks McGee over here destroying his lands, which is what it looks like he wants to do, I feel like Control Delete's in a very bad position for this game. I'm going to tap, use this, and I'm going to Manglehorn, pop the Coalition Relic, and I'm going to leave up one for Worldly Tutor. I'm kind of try to see what they've got. Now in my hand, the Colony Hydra is very good because I also drew an Avenger to Zendikar, and that's a combo right there. Well, I mean, it's not much of a combo, but it's a combo in my head. Now, what does he draw? Oh my god, he drew Destructive Flow. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-basic land. Holy Christ, Control-Alt-Delete's getting wrecked this game. Just period. There's no way around it. That is the riggedy wrecked. That is the worst thing he can see. Because it's an Atraxa deck, they don't have a lot of basics. Maybe one of each, maybe two of Violence. They have to have a lot of fixing. And he's just not drawing any action, from what I can see. Like, yeah, he is in a bad situation. If it was me, I'd probably play Evolving Wilds here. But I think he's going to play the island and play Atraxa. Probably an okay idea. Get some life going. But this is the problem when you try to keep a very do-nothing hand. I mean, he doesn't have draw. He doesn't have any action. I've made some minor misplays. I'm going to tutor up Ramunap Excavator, I think. And that's actually a pretty decent idea with the Windswept Heath that I have engraved. I mean, I think there might have been better choices, but I know that I want that with Destructive Flow, I want to maintain a steady advantage over them. And this is going to be the easiest way to do it. So we're going to go ahead and draw a Ramunap Excavator. We're going to go ahead and play it. Yeah, because there's no real other option here. And then we're going to go ahead and use it to deck thin. And I think we're actually going to play our Nissa Vasweir because we get one from it coming into play, and then one from the forest coming into play off of it, and then the forest taps for one. So we actually generate 3 mana. So it's actually really good right here. And this is the power of green because basically everything in green is going to synergize. It's all going to be mana ramp, hate, or damage. That's basically all you really need. It's all about accruing advantages. Now, I know I'm not playing my forest that I add to hand, so at this point it's just deck thinning and hoping that I can keep drawing action. But this is not looking good for these guys because they're playing slow, steady advantages, or they got a little greedy and played with a hand that didn't have action, so now they're kind of end up regretting it. And, ooh, Decree of Annihilation. 7 mana, yeah, that's not going to happen. It's just not. There's no way for him to get up to there. He didn't have any ramp in his hand. This is why it's very important to aggressively mulligan. You get a free mulligan in Commander. When you see a hand that's 7 land, well, I guess it was 6 land when he opened with it, but that's still a mull. I don't care what you think, you mulligan it. He's going to play Price of Glory here. Basically, whenever a player taps a land for a mana during another player's turn, destroy with that land. This basically shuts off most of what Control-Alt-Delete wants to do. And I think he's going to end up getting pretty salty about it. Because he's losing all his land. There's nothing he can really do at this point. Like, what's he going to draw? Oh, look, he drew a Planeswalker. That's great. Unfortunately, he has no way to actually play it. Because the game has swung out of control so much in the time that it took him with his plans. Yeah, and this is maybe not the best idea, but I'm guessing that he just was salty at this point, and he was just going to attack the guy who he felt was destroying his chances of winning instead of attacking me, the guy who's going to win. And it's not the best decision. Um, I believe this turn, stuff gets real pretty fast. Uh, so we go ahead and draw, and we get Woodfall Primus. So first thing we want to do, we want to play that Windswept Heath because we don't actually have enough mana for Avenger without the Windswept. But with Control Alt Defeat on essentially 3 mana the next turn, I'm not feeling too threatened. I mean, I think maybe he might just pop the board, maybe Wrath of God, but I'm kind of okay with that because I'll still have the massive mana advantage. I'll still be able to reap and sow, and from there probably get some good stuff. And so yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and search out. I'm gonna play my Avenger of Zendikar, and it's just pretty easy, solid gameplay. I mean, it's Sea Monkey, Play Monkey at this point because there's no real strategy to it. It's just based on what's gonna happen. And I could play Colony, but that's an overextension, and I've already pretty much sealed it up with the Avenger. And the Colony would just, at this point, for Reap and Sow, when I get Nykthos off of it, that's what Colony's going to be for. It's going to really add a lot for that. I'm going to end my turn. Lo and behold, Lance, Gitrog. That's cool. Going to play it. Going to tap. Play it. If I was me, I would definitely strip mine. And I would strip mine me. I would strip mine the green player. Because at this point, you're praying that Control Alt Defeat wipes the board. You're praying that he has a board wipe. So I would just strip mine and try to get as much advantage. Unfortunately, Lance doesn't understand this, so he plays his forest and tries to mana wrap instead of going for this more secure play. He's still trying to get up to that Decree mana. And unfortunately, he doesn't understand that I'm in end game. My deck's an end game already. It's already set up to end it. And of course, Control Alt Defeat, attacking because he's salty. Look, he drew Pure Imaginative Rascal. Too late. There's nothing he can really do at this point with it. Yeah. Adds Toothy. So he netted 1 mana. And at this point, if I was them, I'd be very sure in the fact that this is not how things were supposed to go. I draw Exploration, basically securing that stuff is going to hurt. I'm going to go ahead and play it. There's no reason not to play it right off the bat. This is going to automatically net me 4 mana from Windswept Heath. Which means I automatically get 4 counters on my plant tokens. And with the Reap and Sow, that's automatically 5 counters. And I'm definitely going to be entwining it. So I'm probably going to destroy... I think I'm going to destroy Lance's Swamp. And you can kind of start to see some people in the game not being very happy. And I'm going to go ahead and speed it up because there's no real decision making here at this point. It's all based on what I draw off of the Nissa activation, which I'm going to try to deck then all my lands as much as possible. I think I actually miss a a mana from my Lotus Cobra. Yeah, he insta quits because he knows it's over. GG. Game's done. I popped his last land. I popped his last major land that he needed. Um, I draw Eternal Witness off Nissa. I'm going to play it. I'm going to get Reap and Sow. I'm going to go ahead and destroy the swamp, and I'm going to get Strip Mine. And I'm going to destroy his forest. And then I'm going to use Woodfall Primus to destroy his other forest. And it basically leaving him with 1 green mana or 1 white mana. Maybe not ideal. Maybe I should go for his mountains. But that was my plan, was to cut him off green. Because I don't want him getting back into the game, and I figure green is more likely to do that than red. Because red, at most, he'll Chaos Warp me with that amount of mana. With green, he might be able to do some ramp or something. Maybe get some stuff out. But, yeah. It's why I don't really feel like stacks is the best idea. If you're going for land destruction, I feel like there are better ways to do it, and Saskia is not it. Now, maybe there's some Saskia deck that I haven't heard of that's running a lot of stacks and stuff, but from what I can see, it's just mostly bad. And yeah, I mean, now this is not this is not this is not French EDH ready. This is not MTG Online ready, because Mana Crypt and Strip Mine and all that stuff would not be in here if it was. But I have built versions of that, and it basically plays the same. There's no real difference. Gaia's Cradle comes out, Nykthos stays in, but you know, Gaia's Cradle's kind of a bait. I could run. I could definitely run the enchantment. The Gaia's Cradle enchantment, but I found it so slow, and I'd much rather run Gaia's Touch, Burgeoning, Exploration, Greater Good. Leyline of Life Force is it's just an okay card to put in the deck, and Mana Reflection's just nuts. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I felt like that was not a very good game to showcase this deck, because those are two very not in meta decks anymore. And he was playing mono. He was playing basic land stacks, only basics. That's not gonna work. He was playing the other guy, control alt defeat. You know, he's a salty little guy. He was playing Traxa, trying to do Planeswalker things. Well, that's not a good deck to do that with anymore. It's too slow. It takes too long. It's too easy to deal with. Atraxa proliferates it in a turn. That's not going to work. You need to either be running infinite turns Atraxa or infect Atraxa, because the Planeswalker one is too slow. It's too easy to just for a mono deck to get out of hand, or for a combo deck to get out of hand. Blood Pod or you know, that Abzan blue deck to just lock it down and prevent Atraxa from ever doing anything. And that's my thoughts.